Hello, friends. Many of you have expressed the desire for more communication and encouragement while we are unable to meet together. I wanted to share a video with you today, and I was unsure whether I should call it Coffee with Comments, Tea with Talking, or Weekday Words. But here we go. All of us have been impacted in some way by the current situation. Fortunately, many of us are only experiencing inconvenience. But there are many others who are dealing with the effects of this event. Today, I think of expectant mothers who are about to deliver amid the fear of contagion. And I think of brides who have been carefully planning for months. And I think of those who are currently battling cancer and already have compromised immune systems, and the fear that they have in trying to go to their appointments and treatments. I think of students in college whose belongings and lives are still at the colleges they attend. High school and college seniors whose final year has been greatly impacted, and the events that they were anticipating have either been postponed or canceled. I think of those in care facilities whose families cannot visit, and the family members who long to be with them. Medical professionals who are now living at the facilities in which they work and who are giving their all to face a situation that they haven't experienced before. And the families of those medical care workers who worry about them. And those whose livelihood has been impacted through either the closure of their business or a suspension of their job. And there are so many additional ways that I haven't even mentioned that this impacts the lives of people. It did touch a little closer to home this week when we saw that some of our missionaries are critically ill with the virus. This is a new situation for the modern day church. What do we do as Christians in these circumstances to shine the light and the hope of Christ? First, we have to be careful of how we respond. A fearful response can manifest itself in anger and criticism. Let's try to remember to guard our tongue. Colossians 4:6 says, "Let your speech always be gracious, seasoned with salt, so that you might know how to answer each person." In biblical times, salt was a valued commodity, a necessity. It was used for preservation. It was used for disinfecting. It was used for seasoning. It was a ceremonial offering, and it was even used as a unit of exchange. So we're navigating through this unknown and unfamiliar situation. We don't have all the answers, but we do know the one who does, and he is in control. In our conversations with others, let us be gracious. Let our speech be seasoned with salt. In order to have those words be seasoned and graceful, we have to have our hearts right. Matthew 12:34-36 says, "For out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks." This means that our hearts need to be filled with God's words and his promises. If we're dwelling on the negative, we tend to get negative. We allow fear to take root and grow in our hearts, then we're not only miserable, but we cannot be the lights that we should be in the darkness around us. The first day and a half that I was home from school, I was continuously inundated, because I chose to be, with social media, with articles that I was listening to or reading, with news on the TV. And then the Lord impressed on my spirit that that's not what I should be doing. Yes, we do need to be informed, and that is essential. And yet we don't have to spend our days dwelling on this. Instead, as Pastor Darrell pointed out on Wednesday night, we need to dwell on the right things. Philippians 4:8 says, "Finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about these things." So let's fill our heart with God's promises. When we feel encouraged and assured, then we are able to, through our interactions and our deeds, to be gracious and seasoned with salt for others. Secondly, we need to be reaching out. Yes, we are socially distancing ourselves, but we can still talk to each other. Find a way to involve yourself in the lives of others. Lots of older people are alone while they are socially distancing, and many of them were already lonely before this happened, and they can't have people in their homes or go about their usual routine. Call them, check on them. when you do that, they're going to know that someone is taking an interest in them. But not only that, you'll know if they need something, perhaps something picked up or dropped off to them. But don't just limit your calls to those who are older. Check on your coworkers, your friends, your family members. And just in the last week, I've had 2 old friends, one from high school and one from college, contact me. Both of their daughters are getting married around the same time our daughter is. While I'm not happy about what we're talking about, I am really happy to have those lines of communication open with them again, that renewed communication. Next, and most essentially, we need to pray. Matthew 18:19 says, I also tell you this, if 2 of you agree here on earth concerning anything you ask, my Father in heaven will do it for you. And 2 Chronicles 7:14 says, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray, turn from their wicked ways and seek my face, then I will hear from heaven. I will forgive their sin and I will heal their land. And Matthew 21:22 says, whatever you ask in prayer, you will receive if you have faith. So we may not be able to meet together physically at this time, but we can still pray together. Prayer is essential and it moves the hand of God, so let's diligently seek him. Know that prayer changes things. Lastly, you find your strength in him. If you don't already have a relationship with the Lord, now is a perfect time. If you're a new Christian, let me tell you that God is faithful. And for new and mature Christians, let me remind you that he can be trusted. Take time to seek him. Take time to pray, to read his word, to spend time in his presence. He will give you peace, and then in turn, you'll be ready to share that peace with others. And I'd like to leave you with some verses from Psalms 91. Whoever dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. Surely he will save you from the fowler's snare and from the deadly pestilence. He will cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and your rampart. Know today that God is faithful and he can be trusted. Be sure to join us on Sunday morning at 10:30 for our online service. And know that Pastor Jerry and I and Pastor Daryl and Stephanie love you, and we're all praying for you. Blessings.